In this video, we're going to do a tire inspection. We're going to inspect the tire condition, identify tire wear patterns, check for correct size and application. We already know how to adjust air pressure, but the one thing we seem to be unclear on is where to find the how much pressure should be put in the tire. And we're going to show you where to find that. And then I want you to record all the observations in that table. The thing with this activity is I want you to do it at home on a car outside. Inspect all the tires and document it in this chart. All right, we're going to talk about tire wear patterns today, and then we're going to talk about some sidewall markings and how to identify tires, load ranges, speed ratings, date of manufacturer, and what the tire can be used for. First thing I want to talk about is going to be tire wear patterns. Okay. Normal wear pattern, tires should be worn evenly all the way across the tread, and if we measure across the tread, we should get the same measurement across. That would tell us that a tire is wearing perfectly. This is going to be our tire tread depth gauge. You're going to set it on the tire and come down, and this one's measured in 30/2 of an inch, and so whatever line is lining up is going to be our measurements. This one is 4/32. So we would want to have it an even wear pattern across the whole tire. This tire is worn down to the tread wear indicators. We can see them here. It starts to look like an even line across the tire. If any part of the tire is worn down to these tread wear indicators, the tire is considered worn out and needs to be replaced. This tire is also showing excessive wear right here, a broken belt. There's wires sticking out of it. This tire is considered worn out. If we can see on this tire, this side of the tread is more wore out than this side of the tread. If only one side of the tread is worn, then we have a tire that is tipping in one direction at the top, this being the top of the tire. If this tire was on the driver's side front of a vehicle and we're wore out here, this would mean that the top of the tire is tipped off this vertical line and it's only riding on this inside edge. If this tire was on the passenger side of the vehicle and we're tipped this way, we would be out from the center, and that would be outside edge wear. If it's the outside edge of a tire being worn, that is going to be a camber wear angle, and if we're tipped out, if this was on the passenger side, this would be positive camber. If this tire was now on the driver's side of the vehicle and we were tipped in towards the inside of the vehicle, this would be negative camber. It'd be wearing just on this edge. I don't have a good example of it, but if this edge was this edge was worn and this edge was worn like this, that would be considered both outside edges. If you ever see both outside edges worn, that's because our tire pressure was low and we're riding on these sidewalls. This tread in the middle could appear normal, while the outside edges appear worn. Both sides would look worn out like here. This tire shows that a little bit of the center is worn more than the outside edges. If our tire is overinflated, it's going to only ride in the middle of the tire, and that's going to cause the center of the tire to be worn more than the outside edges of the tire. If this tire was on the passenger side of the vehicle, what type of wear would you write down for this? Next step is we're going to check for the correct tire and application, the load ratings on the tire. This is a P metric number 205/55/R16. The 205 is a measurement of the tread width from here to here in millimeters. So this tire is 205 millimeters wide. The next number, the 55, this is the profile or the tire sidewall height. So this sidewall height is 55% of the width of the tire. So if we cut the tire about in half, about where my fingers are, and I take that and I turn my fingers on the side, that is our sidewall height. The R stands for radial, and the 16 is a 16-inch rim. That is the diameter of the rim. 91, this is our load rating. The T is a speed rating. We have a tubeless radial. The M and S is mud and snow. And we have a snowflake for a winter tire. The next number we're looking at is the DOT number, the dot number. And what we're looking for on this number is we're going to come over here to where it almost looks like this doesn't even belong on here. Someone just stamped it on here. And that's because this number changes. So the end of this stamp number says 3912. And what that means is this tire was manufactured in the 39th week of 2012. That tells us the age of this tire. So this tire is 8 years old. The other numbers are identifiers, so they know the plant and when it was made, and this is where when you want warranties taken care of or there's recalls, you can use the whole number. I turn the tire around and we have our DOT number like we did before, and it has a CLL, but we don't have that stamp spot afterwards. This is common to where that date code is only on one side of the tire. So if you can't find it on one side, you'll have to look on the other. Might be hard to see this number, but I'll read it. It says max load 615 kilograms or 1,356 pounds at 300 kPo or 44 psi max pressure. This number on here, I want you to know that you will never look for this number. How we check our pressure in our tire. Our recommended tire pressure is never on the sidewall. It is going to be in the door jamb on the door placard. This tire has some other information. Up here we have a rotation and an arrow pointing this way. So this tire needs to rotate like this going down the road. The reason it's important to know this is when you mount these tires, you need to know that this tire, if this is the outside of the tire, this needs to go on the right side of the vehicle. If this was the outside of the rim, and then if this is the left rear tire, okay, the outside of the rim would be here. So if we come over to the vehicle, we open the door and we look, the tire placard located on the door jamb. It gives us the proper tire size we need for the front and rear, and gives us our recommended cold tire inflation pressure. This one's 33 in the front, 33 in the rear, and the spare is at 60. You may have a tag that looks like this that could have some numbers on it for tire size. On here it's going to tell us our original tire size so we can match up what is supposed to be on the vehicle. Oh, I'm gonna go check the computer screen.